Welcome to the Youth1 Spotlight. I am your host, Ryan Oliver, and today I am joined by an offensive lineman from the 2026 class, Joseph Russo. Joseph, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. Oliver. I'm feeling great.
I'm glad. It's good to have you on. I don't get many offensive linemen on here, so I am really excited to be able to put a spotlight on someone in the trenches, someone gets their hands dirty, and someone that makes a big impact on each and every down. I want to start there. How long have you been playing offensive lineman? I know you play center specifically. Tell me how long you've been playing offensive lineman, maybe the position of center specifically, and what you enjoy about that position.
I actually do not play center. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, I'm an offensive tackle. I prefer the
gotcha.
right side, and I believe I've been playing for about 3 years now.
Okay,
And honestly, I didn't actually start like getting playtime until I was 11, and I'm only 13. So it's kind of an anomaly seeing someone like kind of so late in like the youth kind of aspect join so late and then end up being like as good as someone like me. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but
oh,
yeah, it's really honestly it's humbling because it's like you never really, like I just said, it's like you never really see people like that just go to the top so early. So yeah.
well, let me ask you, is it that the position, do you feel like it's something that's kind of come naturally to you? I know that there's a lot of hard work that you're putting in, so not to negate that, but is it something you feel like you just kind of gravitated towards, and then once you kind of got there, you kind of just took off with it?
um I mean, kind of, yes, because with being larger than most of the kids in my age group, I feel like it's almost like a necessity for me to be some type of lineman, no matter where I am.
Right.
So, uh, honestly, yeah, I do think it just kind of showed up, and the opportunity appeared, and I didn't really want to pass it up because I don't know if even my parents know this, but I always wanted to be a football player, even when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And it's just like it's honestly an honor that I was given this opportunity, and now I'm here. So
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool. I mean, I think that like that you've had the ambition to want to play football and to be where you are now. What is it about the game of football that brings you joy?
honestly, besides like obviously the normal stuff like hitting people and yeah,
Right.
and like honestly, what brings me joy is just being around my teammates, growing a family, getting to know the coaches, the players, sometimes even the other team. Sometimes I have some not that nice conversations. But yeah, mainly it's just bonding, and that's just honestly like my goal. Like I always want to be like a leader or one of like the corner pieces of a football team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's a good segue into one of my questions is about your leadership. It sounds like you view yourself as a leader of the teams or team that you play for. Uh, what would you say your leadership style is, Joseph?
My leadership style is definitely someone that likes to get people ready for the game and get their mindset ready in practice. I don't really like seeing this is just a personal thing. I hate, like I despise people like joking around in practice and messing around during drills and stuff. Just because it really shows that like they have these championship aspirations, and they just don't seem to be putting as much work and dedication that they would need to get to the top level. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's just honestly just getting people ready, getting people dedicated, focused, and just getting their mind right for the game of football.
Absolutely. Can you speak to where you feel like your game is right now in terms of the progression you've made maybe over the past year or so in your game? Tell me how you're feeling about your game right now.
If I were to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, there's always room for improvement. So I put myself at about a 7 or an 8. But yeah, I definitely see myself getting into 9 to 10 range in the coming months. Um, yeah, honestly, I think that my game is really just second to none when it comes to just a large athletic. Um, yeah, it's honestly, it's like you don't really see athletes that are like so big and so fast. You know what I mean? So it's more of like it's more of like, I don't want to say it's a genetic thing because I'm obviously putting in a whole like a lot of work and dedication to the game,
Right.
but it's kind of just like I came with this size and people didn't expect me to be running around the field like that.
Right.
So yeah, honestly, I think I'm very good at the where I am right now.
Yeah, you mentioned like the hard work and dedication. That's something that I like to focus on in these interviews is I think a lot of times, especially with youth athletes, people think that you guys just kind of like show up on game day and make plays or like, especially with younger athletes, I feel like people don't realize that there's a lot of dedication that middle school age athletes and early high school athletes are putting in like that is that deserves to be recognized. So that's what I like to do here. I want you to speak to what the work you put in. I mean, aside from practice, you're not just going to practice, you're also putting in work aside from that. I know that. So can you speak on that and tell people what your training looks like?
Um, Mostly it's just a mix of speed and strength right now. I'm working at two different spots right now. Mostly it's at the St. Joseph Regional, the weight room, and I'm working with the varsity team, getting to know the people around me for the future.
Mhm.
And it's a really nice experience because you get to really get to know the coaches and all the people that are there. And it's an amazing vibe overall. And secondly, I'm going to TNT. It's located in Paramus, and it's a really good speed and agility training location, and it really just helps you get your mindset accurately placed for getting to play any sport. Honestly, I really think that I'm working harder than the next guy right now. So it's very how do I say it? It's a very humbling experience. I feel like I've
Yeah.
said that before, but I honestly, if you told me 5 years ago that I was going to be interviewed in front of thousands of people, I would honestly start laughing. But yeah, I really like the work that I'm putting in, and I think that I'm doing really well right now when it comes to athletics.
Well, I think that sounds great. I think Joseph that it's good to be confident in the work that you're putting in because that's part of the point, right? Like you're putting in it's like a test, right? So if you're studying to take a test, you want to go into test day confident, right? So if the test is game day for you or your performance on game day, if you're putting in the work, at these different training, speed and agility, different things you mentioned, like you should be confident in your ability to go out there and perform, right? Like that's the whole point. So I think that's awesome, and I don't think there's any harm in feeling good about it and feeling confident. So I think that's great. You sound humbled and excited about where you're at right now. I want to ask you in your own words, Joseph, what do you think your strengths are on the field?
Honestly, I love the way that I defend the pass. I really like how I'm able to pass block in my drop steps. Um, I can work on that, but I think that the drop steps are probably my best offensive skill. Um, Not saying I don't have good run blocking or anything like that, but my pass blocking is definitely uh my strength on offense. And defensively, I'm stuffing the run, honestly. Just my size, if I'm able to get past the one lineman that's guarding me, I'm just there. Sometimes I don't even have to make the tackle. But really I'm a role player when it comes to the defensive side of the football. Um, I'm kind of like a building block. So if let's say the offensive tackle that's lined up on me, say he like brings me outside, that opens room for the linebackers.
I got you.
And if he goes inside, that opens room for, say, a corner on a blitzing side, or if a linebacker sees an outside run. So it depends on how the game is played and depends how the game is going. But usually, I love to say that my swim move is my specialty on defense, and yeah, that's pretty much about it.
So is playing both sides of the ball something that you do normally? Is that like a every game thing, or are you more focused on offense?
Um, Lately it's been mostly offense, but I have gotten a lot of defensive work in.
Okay.
When I did play for the Bergen All Stars, I was actually primarily a defensive tackle, and they moved me to the offensive side of the ball. So that kind of started where I loved my passion to be on the offensive line. So when I eventually would go to my travel team, the North Jersey Crushers, I would be a primary offensive tackle. and then every now and then they would throw me in at a field side end. So it's I wouldn't say it's the greatest thing because it really does get tiring no matter how much cardio you put in.
Yeah,
So yeah, honestly, it's not a bad thing. It's just I feel like if I were to focus on the offensive side of the ball more, it would really help my game.
that makes total sense. I think that like to your point, you can be in the best shape you want to be in, but playing both sides of the ball can be exhausting, especially like lineman. You're getting your hands dirty on every single play. Like there's not there aren't downs where you're getting a
Yeah.
blow. Like at receiver, you might just be blocking, or like not that block. You get what I mean, though. You're not expending as much energy, but not playing lineman you are. So I get what you're saying, and that makes total sense. If I've never seen you play, Joseph, and I come to a game where you're playing, what can I expect to see?
A lot of hard hitting football, smash mouth football. I'm a very physical type of player. I don't really like to give handouts to any defensive lineman. Um, but yeah, you're expecting to see an offensive lineman having a defensive lineman 30 yards down the field on a run play. Honestly, um, it's not that I bully them to per se, but it's more that um, it's just it's a physical experience. Sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it when it happens. Like it just ends up it's just an occurrence.
Right.
But yeah, you're expecting a lot of smash mouth football, a lot of talking by me in the huddle. I really like to if I see a mistake by one of my teammates, I call them out on it. And I tell them what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to improve. That's the whole point of leadership and what's the word? Like a team effort.
Right.
Yeah, it's like teamwork. It really helps when you're able to like give corrections for certain players and how they play. And yeah, that's mainly it. And also a lot of dancing on the sidelines.
I like that. I like that. I
Sir,
mean, Lyman got moves too now. Don't.
that's what I'm saying, man.
Uh, Joseph, I'll be remiss. Let me get let me get an update on your height and your weight. Where are you at now in terms of
Uh,
your stature?
Currently, I believe I'm 6'3" and I'm standing at around 265, 270 pounds. But mostly it's more lean than it is anything wide. So
Got you. Yep.
yeah, mostly I'm more lanky, but I definitely have a lot of girth to me, if that's how you say it.
Nah, nah, I think that makes total sense. I just wanted to get sometimes I see people's profiles and their profile, they'll say, oh, like it'll say 6 foot, right? And be like, oh, I grew 3 inches since that. Like, so I just want to make sure we're up to date. So the people know, kind of just how big you are, and that's a representation of, or they can get an idea for, your stature and how you're pushing people 30 yards down the field, on certain downs. So nah, that's really good. You're growing. You're gonna keep growing. So who knows how big you'll be when, or I mean big in the sense of how tall you'll be, strong you'll be when you kind of stop growing in a few years, whenever that is. Um, Joseph, is there an area of your game that you've identified, you look at and you say, okay, if I can get better in this specific area, I can take my game to another level?
Honestly, it's mostly defensively. My stance. I have a very high stance, and I
Mhm.
feel like it really prohibits me from being able to be more mobile on the defensive side of the ball. Even though I am quite capable when I do go on the defensive side of the ball, it's
Right.
just that sometimes I'll get pushed off my balance a little bit or something like that, and it's not really appreciated when your coach looks at some 6'3" dude getting pushed off his feet by some 5'9" tackles. So it's
Right.
not really like anything horrible. It's just that it's kind of embarrassing almost, but I'm definitely looking to improve on my defensive stance.
Well, you know what? Nothing's embarrassing if you have a plan on working on it, right? Like we all have flaws in our professions or what we're working at. Like I have flaws as a journalist, right? And there's areas that I work at, and I've done 1,000 interviews, but there's areas I could get better at, right? So you've identified an area you want to get better in. You say, okay, like if I can, make some small incremental improvements here, I can be an even better football player. So I think it's good that you're like willing to say, hey, like this is an area that I need to get better at. I'm willing to work at it, and I'm gonna do what I got to do to improve my game. Joseph, I want to ask you a little bit about off the field stuff. what do you do in your free time when you're not in school, when you're not playing football, and you're not training? What do you like to do in your downtime?
Usually be my friends in video games. Other than that, it's mostly just studying, really. I really like to focus on my academics when I'm off the field. It helps me get me in the right mindset. So say I don't have homework to do, or I do my homework and I go to practice. Now I don't got to worry about anything when I get home. I'm very scheduled when it comes to how I work academically and athletically. But yeah, that's mostly how it works. It's just academics, and honestly, also I like to sleep. I go on I was like 4 or 5 hour naps if I don't have anything to do that day. So yeah, it's also it's really important to me for resting and getting my energy ready.
Yeah, well, let me say this. I have a newborn and sleep is like something I don't get. So please enjoy your naps for me
Yeah,
and
I got
think of Youth One's Ryan Oliver when you're taking your next nap and be like, I'm gonna get this power nap in for Ryan because he's not able to get any rest.
you.
I'm joking. I'm not joking about the newborn part, but I'm joking about the sleep
Yeah,
thing. But I get it, man. A nap sounds great right now. So I totally hear you on that. I gotta ask you though. So you said you beat your friends in video games. What video game we talking about? Is it Call of Duty? Is it Madden? Is it 2K?
uh,
What are we whooping people in?
mostly Madden.
Okay.
I used to play competitive and
Okay.
like money tournaments and stuff. So it's really
Yeah.
yeah, mostly Madden. But I'm not too bad on 2K. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that bad. And Call
Okay.
of Duty is like I'm not really into Call of Duty. I know
Yeah,
it's
me
kind of
neither.
crazy when you really hear people saying that, but
Oh,
no,
I'm not into it either, but I'm with
uh,
you. I
yeah,
got friends that are, but I'm like, nah, I'm maybe I'm too old for it or something, but nah.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm just not into those like action-packed games where like everything left and right is just like
Yeah, I got you.
so. Yeah, I kind of just like relaxing when it comes to playing video games. So yeah, mostly just Madden and 2K.
So let me ask you this. This is a question I ask everyone that interviews with me for the first time. What is in your headphones before a big game? What gets you pumped up to go out there and make plays?
Ooh, honestly, I love J Cole. I
Okay,
love
cool.
J Cole.
Give me
The
a song. Give me a song. What's a song that you could put on from J. Cole and like that will get you feeling good every time?
I love 100 Mil. It's on
Okay.
his album with featuring Boss, and
Yeah.
I really love what's it, My Life featuring 21 Savage and Moray. It's a
Yeah, I
very
like that one too.
it gets yourself like really just focused up
Yeah.
for what's to come in the game. So yeah, it really gets me in the right mindset.
That's cool. I think I've gotten J. Cole one other time when I've asked that question, but usually I get the NBA young boy, little baby answer. So I think it's cool. You seem you seem like a different kind of cat. And I mean this in the most respectful way. I don't mean it in a rude way. I mean like I totally could see J. Cole being your answer. And I think that that's a cool answer. Um, because he's not necessarily thought of like as the hype guy, right? Like the guy's
Yeah,
gonna make you hype, but he might get your mind right. So,
exactly.
you know, so I totally get that. Well, Joseph, I gotta ask this last question because I feel like you might have a good answer here too. Is there anything else people should know about you that they may not know?
Um, ooh, I mean, I'm a very hard worker in the classroom. That's definitely something I'm very dedicated for, and I really think that academics is very equal to athletics when it comes to high school. Another thing, I'm attending many camps this year. And just to name a few, I'm going to Rivals in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I believe that's in mid-April. I'm going to the Next Gen event. I believe that's around May time. And in June, I'm actually attending the Dream All American Bowl. It's in Cowboys Stadium.
Nice.
So yeah, it's also I really like to be visible when it comes to scouting and helping people like really see who I am as a player and as a person in general.
Right.
My team, my team mindset and my leadership definitely comes to play, especially when I don't know anyone on the team. So it's going to be really
Right.
impressive when I'm leading the team in the Dream All American Bowl on NBC. So it's going to be a very fun experience, honestly.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this last question before we wrap things up. What are some of your goals in terms of life and football that you can share with me?
Um, Football wise, my freshman year of high school, I want to set records. I want to set freshman records. I want to make myself known in the high school picture, and I really just want to have people acknowledge me as, that guy. Like, he's not just the big guy that runs around and flops his arms around. Um, but yeah, I want to set records in my freshman year. Long term wise, when it comes to football, obviously I want multiple D1 offers. If I were to name a few, honestly, Oregon, Ohio State, those have been my two favorite since I was like 3 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I want to make it to the NFL. That's pretty clear. And when it comes to life, I just want to be successful. I want to be financially safe. I don't want to be in any type of money problems. And something I've always had a passion for is I'm always trying to get someone. When I'm in the right financial standpoint, I really do want to get so like someone in my family just a house and pay it off, or a car or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's been a dream of mine because I'm seeing all these people on YouTube, etc., and they're doing this stuff, and it's like buying my mom a house, all this stuff, and it really inspires me to like kind of give back to my community and give
Right.
back to people I love.
Right. Well, Joseph, I think that's a great spot to leave it. I think those are great ambitions to have for a young athlete. I really enjoy getting to know you here on the Youth One Spotlight. I think you have a great head on your shoulders, and I feel like you your brain is working, and I think that's great. Like I can tell that your brain is working, and you're working hard, and you're thinking about life and where you're gonna go. And I think that's a great place to be for a young man, kind of finding his way both in life and in football. Keep working hard. You got a load of talent, and keep working hard in school and on the field, and the sky's the limit. This is 2026 lineman Joseph Russo. Joseph, thank you.
Sure.